Hello and welcome to Maths with Jacob. This lesson will focus on equivalent fractions. Equivalent fractions have exactly the same value. They may have different numerators and denominators, but their values are equal. Example 1. The yellow rectangle above is one full rectangle. So there it is there. It's easy to see that that is one whole rectangle. The orange rectangle below it is divided into two halves. There's one half and there's one half, and together they give you a full rectangle. The third rectangle contains two short green lengths. Added together, they are exactly the same length as one of the orange lengths. So they're the two short green lengths there. When you put them together, you can see that it's the same length as one of these orange ones here. So the left-hand orange rectangle is one half of the full yellow rectangle. That's easy to see. So this section here is one half of the yellow one. This is exactly the same size as the sum of the two smaller green rectangles. So those two smaller green rectangles are the same size as this one here. This shows that a half equals a quarter plus a quarter. So see that half there? That equals a quarter plus a quarter. Now a quarter plus a quarter is 2 quarters. See, 2 over 4. And that shows that a half equals 2 over 4. So a half and 2 over 4 are equivalent fractions. So see, the numerators and denominators look different, but they have the same value. Example 2. Following on from the previous slide, we can see that a half equals an eighth plus an eighth plus an eighth plus an eighth. So see that half here, which is the orange one, that's exactly the same as that blue rectangle there. See that? And there are 4 of those eighths there. That's the same as a half. So when you add those together, you get 4 over 8. That shows you that a half equals 4 over 8. And they're equivalent fractions. Example 3. From the above, it can be seen that a quarter equals an eighth plus an eighth. So see that quarter there, which is the green one, that's exactly the same as 2 of those. So that quarter there is the same as 1/8 plus 1/8. So a quarter is 2 over 8, and they're equivalent fractions. Example 4. The above diagram is an excellent example because the equivalent fractions are contained in the same coloured rectangles. Let's see what that means. We can see that 1/3, let's find out where 1/3 is. Okay, there it is there. See that yellow rectangle there? That's 1/3. Now that's the same as 1 over 6 plus 1 over 6, and here it is here. Okay, so that one, we marry it up with those two there. So that gives us 1/3 equals 1 over 6 plus 1 over 6. So 1/3 equals 2 over 6. So those two there are equivalent fractions. Let's look at 1/5. Where's that? That's that little blue one here. See? Just that little blue one there. So that 1/5, that equals 1/10 plus 1/10. Okay, so that 1/5 there lines up with those two blue ones there. So 1/5 equals 1/10 plus 1/10, so 1/5 equals 2/10, and they're equivalent fractions. Let's go back to the third again. See that third there? This time, look what happens. Come down here where it's got 1 on 9, 1 on 9, and 1 on 9. So when you line those up there, that 1/3 is 1 on 9 plus 1 on 9 plus 1 on 9. So in other words, 1/3 equals 3 over 9, and they are equivalent fractions. So that's one way of showing, using a diagram, how we find equivalent fractions. Remember, they have the same value, even though they look a bit different.